Join me as I dive deep into the debate and challenge myself to find out which baptism is right for you, infant or believer. Baptism is a significant ritual practiced by various faiths, including Christianity, where it symbolizes spiritual rebirth and cleansing from sin. However, the timing of this sacrament is a topic of intense debate, dividing Christians into two camps: those who support infant baptism and those who advocate for believers' baptism. When it comes to baptism, many of us have been left feeling confused and unsure about which approach is right. Perhaps you've been baptized as an infant and are now questioning whether you truly understand the significance of this sacrament. Or maybe you're a new believer, unsure about whether to get baptized as an adult. The debates surrounding baptism practices can be overwhelming, to say the least. The lack of clarity on this issue often leads to frustration and doubt. You might be wondering, what does the Bible say about baptism? Does it really matter when I get baptized? Is one approach more legitimate than the other? These are just a few of the questions that often plague individuals seeking clarity on this important aspect of their faith. The controversies surrounding baptism are further complicated by the varying traditions and interpretations within Christianity. It's no wonder that many of us struggle to make an informed decision about our own baptism. In the next part of this video, we'll delve into the historical and theological perspectives of infant and believer baptism, exploring the reasons behind each practice and the scriptural basis for their approaches. This will help us better understand the roots of the debate and make a more informed decision about which baptism is right for us. Historically, infant baptism has its roots in the early Christian church, where it was seen as a way to cleanse infants of original sin. Over time, this practice became more widespread, with many Christian denominations adopting it as their primary form of baptism. On the other hand, believers' baptism has its roots in the Anabaptist movement, which emphasized the importance of adult conversion and conscious commitment to Christ. Theologically, infant baptism is often seen as a symbol of God's grace and prevenient grace, which precedes human faith. In this view, baptism is not just a symbol of our faith but also a means of grace that enables us to respond to God's call. In contrast, believers' baptism is typically seen as an expression of one's personal faith and commitment to Christ, symbolizing the believer's union with Christ. The significance of baptism also varies between these two approaches. For those who support infant baptism, it's often seen as a way to initiate infants into the community of faith, marking them as belonging to Christ. In contrast, believers' baptism tends to emphasize the importance of personal faith and conversion, highlighting the believer's decision to follow Christ. As we explore the historical and theological perspectives of infant and believer baptism, it becomes clear that understanding one's faith and personal beliefs is essential in choosing the right baptism for oneself. Ultimately, this decision should be guided by our personal convictions and understanding of God's will for our lives. Our faith is deeply personal, and our baptism should reflect that. It's essential to take the time to understand what baptism means to us, what it symbolizes, and what its significance is in our lives. This personal understanding is crucial in making an informed decision about which baptism is right for us. When it comes to baptism, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. What's right for someone else might not be right for us, and that's okay. The most important thing is that we take the time to understand our faith and make an informed decision that aligns with our personal convictions. In conclusion, the decision between infant and believer baptism is not a simple one, but by understanding the historical and theological perspectives of each approach, we can make an informed decision that reflects our personal faith and convictions. But bear in mind, infant and adult baptism does not save you. Belief in Jesus, the gospel, and blood atonement saves you. Thanks for joining me on this journey as we explored the debate surrounding infant and believer baptism. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out my other videos on faith and spirituality.